Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Report Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. William D. Morgan. We got a lot to talk about tonight. I got a cast of thousands here with me with one more on the way. Let me go ahead and bring everybody in. First, this man has forgotten more baseball than I will ever know. Remember, man, 7 in here. 7, what's going on, bro?
Man, it's been a crazy week, and I am just so happy to talk about the Dodgers choking just completely like it's a big black dick in a porno with an 18-year-old white girl just on that dick.
See, this is why we have the parental advisor in the corner right here, just so y'all can notice. Just so y'all can notice. And
Yeah, I am completely the reason why that was added. So
next up, bringing my man. He is the CEO of Walmart and Trailer Parks, and he is the president of the Nebraska Cornhuskers fan club. Merman Dan the Big King. What's up, man?
Tony really got that started out with a bang, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. It's crazy.
I guess I don't know what I don't know what to do. Stop that.
You can't. You really can't. Oh my goodness! But there's one thing you can do to top that. The Cowboys got destroyed, and I was so happy to see that they got their ass whipped.
They got wrecked. It was great.
It was fantastic.
It's like the perfect scenario for you fucking over haters of the Cowboys. Guys,
I just anything that causes Skip Bayless disappointment or pain brings me joy.
Well,
yes.
Ultimately, Skip Bayless is not in any pain. He's a lizard person, so he doesn't the same way that
How about them Cowboys? That big ass loss.
Ironically, who said that at first? Jimmy Johnson, also the Oklahoma Sooners.
Yeah.
Before that.
But this tells you that Mike McCarthy ain't that dude. This also tells you that Dak ain't that quarterback. This tells it all right here. And that defense ain't legendary.
Well, what does it say? Does it say more about the Cowboys? Or does it say more about that fucking San Fran defense?
I had a little of both.
Yeah.
Personally. Honestly, because I watched that game last night. San Francisco's defense was firing on all cylinders. That is the scariest team in the league to me right now. I would take San Francisco over Philadelphia in a heartbeat. And when they play in December, I have a feeling that that's exactly what it's going to be.
First cousin Fred Warner.
Exactly. That's man, that 49ers defense is fucking stout. And, Brock Purdy legitimately should be in the MVP conversation. Like,
he's the perfect quarterback for that system.
Yeah.
He is.
He's the
absolutely.
He's accurate.
You couldn't in and out a little bit, Dan.
Am I?
Just a little bit. Mm-hmm. Just a little bit.
Okay.
Brady 2.0, if he keeps this up. I'm not saying right now, but Brock Purdy is Brady 2.0 if he keeps this up.
Pump the brakes a little bit there.
Yeah.
I said if he keeps this up.
For like what, 15 more years?
He's only like 20? He's like 24, 25, something like that?
24.
Yeah, he's like 24 years old. Yeah.
That's but you can't deny with how well he is doing and the way that he plays the game. This is very Brady-esque. He's not winning these games on athleticism. This is on decision making and accuracy. That's Tom fucking Brady.
It is, but like Brady, I mean, Brock Purdy's better than Tom Brady was at this point in his career. Honestly, Tom Brady was getting carried by those defenses.
Real quick, guys, before we move along, let me go ahead and bring my man Ando in. Ando, what's up?
I stopped for a minute. You guys were talking about Patrick Mahomes, and then I heard the word Purdy, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. We can talk about him too. Okay.
Patrick Mahomes ain't no Brady. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick fucking Mahomes.
True.
You don't disrespect Patrick Mahomes by putting him in the deflated category of Tom fucking Brady.
Fucking brakes on that. Just pump.
Yeah, let's pump the brakes, man.
As much as I want to put hate on Tom Brady's name, the dude has 7 Super Bowl wins. He is the greatest quarterback to play, regardless of any of the, what's the word I'm looking for? Negative impact. All of the gates going against the man. You don't go to 10 Super Bowls and not be the greatest in your position.
He said the gates like it's biblical. He said the gates like it was biblical.
And of course it's a joke. I have nothing but respect for TV Squad.
So, but no, I don't know where you guys were going with it. I'm assuming we're talking about the Cowboys getting lit up.
Kind of getting their ass whipped.
So can I say that I saw a meme today about the Texas Rangers scoring 11 points on the Orioles? It is bad when your baseball team scores more points than your football team.
Yep.
But I am okay with that.
It's
Rangers getting ready to send the Orioles home, man.
Yeah.
That's that. I can't wait to get to baseball and talk about that series.
I want to see the Twins beat the Astros. If the Twins beat the Astros, I don't care. It's all good.
But my thing, I don't know if I'm ready to put Brock Purdy in the MVP conversation just yet. Just yet. Because you
before Brock Purdy.
I mean, you still have some other legitimate candidates who could get up, I think would be more deserving to get it before him. Unless, and I know it's a regular season award, but if he outplays guys like Jalen Hurts, if he outplays guys like Justin Herbert, if he outplays guys, he ain't never will outplay Pat Mahomes. But if he outplays those guys, okay, I got you.
Here's what I'll say about Brock Purdy, right? And I'm looking at the 2023 regular season stats right now of the top 10 quarterbacks that they have based off of yardages before tonight's game. That's Tua Tagovailoa, Kirk Cousins, C.J. Stroud, Matthew Stafford, Josh Allen, Sam Howell, Patrick Mahomes, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, and Jalen Hurts.
Yards mean nothing, though.
Well, okay, hold on. That's how I'm separating this, right? So there are only 2 quarterbacks in the top 10 that do not have a passing turnover. Do you know who those 2 are?
Purdy and Jalen Hurts, probably.
C.J. Stroud. Jalen Hurts has 4 interceptions.
There you go.
Yep. So
C.J. Stroud is on a whole other fucking level right now.
As a rookie,
that's clear rookie of the year favorite.
As a rookie, too.
And I would say, yeah, Brock Purdy has a shitload of weapons. Look at the way that defense treated Dallas last night. And then look at how Jalen Hurts, who, the Eagles are 5-0. But the dude only has 6 passing touchdowns to the 4 interceptions that he has. And he's averaging 252 yards a game. Granted, Brock Purdy's only averaging 254, but he's averaging 9.3 yards a pass, which is second most out of the top 10 behind only Tua. And he doesn't have an interception, and he's only taken 8 sacks so far.
You can't do that though, because that's not Jalen Hurts' game. Look at how many 4th and 1 Jalen Hurts has converted on that fucking sneak play.
True. Look at how many offensive players have touched his butt though. I mean, that's not going to get you an award.
Full grasp.
But it's.
You with a little rum.
And I'm not going to sit here and say that Brock Purdy is MVP right now. What I'm saying is he should at least be in the conversation.
Oh, I agree.
I think that is completely reasonable at this point with what he's done.
Okay, let me ask you this, Seven. Let me ask you this. Who, if you had to put 3 people in the MVP category right now, who are you putting in?
That's
Because my 3 are Patrick Mahomes, my 3 are Christian McCaffrey, and Tua Tagovailoa. Those are my top 3 right now.
I was gonna say Tua as well.
Yeah, no,
I would say-
I think if you do not put Tua and you do not put Christian in at least your top 5 for MVP category so far this year, and this is my personal opinion, you're not watching football the same way that other people are watching football, because you could make an argument that those 3 guys are carrying their teams right now.
There we go.
I would say, and I definitely agree on Tua and CMC, and I'm not going to, and I'm not going to argue those, but I would also argue that Tyreek Hill or Justin Jefferson should both be in the conversation.
Yeah, and
Because-
I
agree. I agree.
can go with that.
Yeah, I go with that.
And I mean, Tyreek Hill already has 651 receiving yards, and we're not even in week 6 yet.
Yep.
That is a stupid number.
And he's playing.
And
And he's playing with Mostert. And he's playing with A-Chain. And he's playing with Jalen
That-
Waddle. He's got talent on that team, and he's still almost to
And
1,000
don't
yards.
forget
because
that Claypool coming in may open up Claypool's game as well. Not that I like Claypool, but having Claypool now in Miami could open
I don't
up
think I don't think Claypool sees the field. I really
Nope.
don't. I really
agree.
don't. He's too much of a head case.
He sees the field, he just
He's just too much of a head case to me. Plus, that wide receiver room is deep. I mean, people forget they still got Braxton Berrios and Chosen Anderson, or Robbie Anderson, whatever you want to call him.
And you're right, but honestly, I there are some teams that could still use some wide receiver depth.
Mhm.
So I would not be surprised to see a couple of those guys move before the trade deadline.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that either one of them is going to go to a position where they're playing every down, but I think a couple of those guys could go to being a 2 or a 3 in multiple teams.
Absolutely.
I realistically. So, I think that wide receiver room is stacked right now, but I think it's going to go through some changes.
I think you might see shoot. Bill Belichick's on a hot seat right now. You might as well go get Claypool. You ain't got no other receiver to do that just taking the brunt of that offense other than Kendrick Bourne. So you might as well go get Chris.
Well, that's if you even have a quarterback to throw to him, because Zappy and Mac have not been playing at all this year.
Matt's terrible.
And Mac is here's the
terrible.
Mac is terrible, but that offensive line is dog shit.
But that's atrocious. Yeah, that's atrocious too.
And that's the thing is, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it's not all on, or that
It's
all
not
on
as bad
Mac
as the
Jones.
Giants. You haven't given up 11 sacks in a game.
And Ramondre Stevenson has been trashed. And Ramondre Stevenson has been trashed this year. Trash.
Absolute trash.
And not that Zeke has played any better.
He was great. But this year, trash.
The Zeke, I don't think anybody expected Zeke to play great though. Like let's be realistic on that. That was a crapshoot at best, and I think that was a sign that Belichick has cracked.
Yeah.
Personally, because
I don't think Belichick has a job after this year. Maybe a consultant, but he is not a head coach after this year.
But do you fire him?
no, you come to a mutual agreement on his retirement.
Yeah. I wouldn't fire him.
You don't
I would fire him.
you don't fire Bill Belichick because
Nah.
he is the Patriots organization
Right.
now. You don't fire Bill Belichick, but you come to a mutual agreement on retirement.
Yeah.
I can't hear Dan.
he's not a rebuild coach. You can hear me?
Oh, there we go.
Hell
Yeah,
no,
now
I
you
want
can
to
hear.
rebuild. Hell no.
No, he's
No.
not.
He's not
100%.
rebuild at all.
And Gary, sorry, go ahead.
I was just looking. I'm not gonna cover every game, just the most important games. Because I do want to get to baseball. I want to get with Dan because we had some basketball over the weekend as well.
Yeah, basketball's coming back. Let's go, Bulls.
Let's go. Who?
Bulls? Chicago?
Bulls, not Bulls.
Bulls.
How about
Let's
that
go,
save?
Bulls.
How about the save?
Mm-hmm.
Man, till we get a point guard, we ain't doing shit. Till we get a point guard.
Alonzo
football, we
thinks he's
ain't
going to
doing
play
shit.
somehow this year, and I don't see how, but somehow he thinks he's going to play this year.
I don't think he's gonna play at all. But I do want to go over some of these games with the most impact. The Chiefs go in there and get a win against Minnesota. Kirk Cousins played okay. He wasn't the best, but played all right football. They held in there. Then it pissed me off. The thing that pissed me off about Minnesota, and I realized Justin Jefferson went out of the game, and I get that. You know, you're losing your best weapon. But the thing that kills me about Minnesota, they ain't got that defense can't stop a cold.
Nope, not at this point.
The defense was the issue yesterday because Minnesota's offense definitely kept him in the game.
Mhm.
Kirk Cousins is a really good quarterback, but you can only do so much when your defense is allowing a lot. You know, they had a lot of opportunities that they didn't capitalize on yesterday. Kansas City had 10 penalties.
Yeah.
Kansas City had 10 penalties, and those are opportunities that Minnesota missed. Minnesota only had 4 penalties yesterday.
Yeah. And there was 3 drives where Travis Kelce wasn't even on the field for the offense. You need to capitalize that if you're the Minnesota offense.
And here's the thing, and I'm going to tell you this, and if you go back and look at the numbers, before Justin Jefferson got hurt, Kansas City had still kept Justin Jefferson out of the game.
Yep.
They were all over Justin Jefferson, and Minnesota did not pivot from their game plan of trying to get the ball to Justin Jefferson, and it wasn't working. That defense is terrible, and the play calling yesterday by the Minnesota coaching staff was horrible, especially on the defensive side of the ball specifically, because they did not adjust. But on the offense, they also scheme-wise didn't change because get the ball to Tucker, shout out for my Hey Arnold fans, get the ball to Tucker wasn't working yesterday, so you got to come up with a new plan.
And how many times did they try to get the ball to Addison and they just weren't able to do it?
Addison couldn't catch shit yesterday. He was running on the ground really well, but no fumbling issues for all you racist people. Addison, had a decent game yesterday, but it was just they could not capitalize when they needed to. And that was why Minnesota lost yesterday.
I think part of the reason Minnesota kind of went down the way they did, when you fumble on that first opening drive, it sets the tone for the whole game. And I think Minnesota was behind in their heads the rest of the game. Because it was one of those, oh, God, we're going to be behind now the entire game. Minnesota played well. I mean, I don't think they fell behind 14 points maybe once in the game, if I remember right. So Minnesota
they were in it.
Yeah, O'Connell has got to get the team to realize that even when you turn the ball over, you still have an opportunity to win the game. And I think once they turn that stone over, I think Minnesota will start winning those close games.
I agree.
So
you need to run the football a little more. I mean,
with who though? Because Addison wasn't running the football well, and who's the backup that they had? He had a couple.
Madison's okay. And you can bring Cam Akers off and see what he can do.
Yeah.
He's been with you 2 weeks now. You could have brought Cam Akers to do a little something for you. Run the football at least a little bit. Keep the defense.
Cam did get the ball a little bit yesterday, but there wasn't really much that came of it. But there was it was inconsequential touches. But really, how do you balance? And I think that this would be the question. And I'll ask Dan this because he hasn't gotten to talk much. How do you if you're going to bring a dual attack in with Akers and Maddox? How do you balance that out touch-wise for both of them? Like, how do you present that so you can use both of those backs on the ground?
You just keep them. I mean, you just keep them fresh. You just get whoever works better in different situations. You have third down, you're going to pass the ball. Obviously, the better pass blocker. You have a guy who runs between the tackles better. Honestly, I'm not familiar with those 2 running backs that much, so I don't. But whichever one tackles better. Just use their strengths, and then obviously if you have 2 of them, that's the whole point to keep them fresh, right? I mean, you want them to be running 100% the whole time because you get a couple of touches, that shit is exhausting. Like 5% you cannot run in the NFL at 75%. That's why they rotate these guys in. I'm sometimes amazed at the wide receivers and their fitness is when it goes. These are running like 30-yard routes every single play.
Yeah.
And still out there running 30-yard routes. But with the running backs, it's a little different because every single time you touch the ball, you're getting taken to the ground.
Yep.
Like, there's no it's tougher than linemen. Like nobody has as short a shelf life as running backs do because they get every time they touch the ball, and it's taxing. So like that's why everybody went to the 2-3 running back system is because you can't just Derrick Henry can take it because Derrick Henry weighs 270 pounds. So like that's use their strengths. And a lot of these guys, like, just because they are doing a more specialized thing, like this guy catches the ball well, this guy runs between the tackles well, like that's why the running back position has got devalued a little bit, because you can special things well. Like Christian McCaffrey does all of it well.
Mm-hmm.
Rare. That's very rare. Like that doesn't happen often, and so you can just use a couple different guys to be a great player. Does that make sense?
Yep.
I mean, that's how you do it. No.
Now, I do want to move over to another game. The one I thought that was so funny. Sean Payton up here talking all that trash. Talking all that trash. And he gets out there and gets his ass whipped 31-21. Gets his ass just handed to him. That was the funniest thing I had ever seen in my life. Talking all that trash. All of it.
Denver
He
fans,
had to just come in there and whoop that ass.
nothing can be worse than Nathaniel Hackett, and then it's a picture of Sean Payton going,
Or Kevin James as Sean Payton in that one movie. That was beautiful, man.
Oh God.
Brees Hall had a huge game. He was off the pitch count finally.
Mm-hmm.
I was happy to see him go ahead and get his flowers in this game. He played a hell of a game. I just thought it was so funny that Denver got their ass whipped. And it's not even that Russell didn't play that bad.
He had that fumble though. That's
He had that fumble.
Yep.
But he had 2 touchdowns. I don't think he threw an interception. So he still played a decent game, but it just wasn't enough.
"Who is Russell?"
That defense, Sarah's husband, but that defense for Denver, which used to be their calling card, particularly back in the day,
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's trash.
Well, when we look at the numbers from that game, I mean, on the Jets side, Zach Wilson, 19 of 26, 199 yards, 1 pick, no touchdowns. But then you have on the other side of it, Russell Wilson, 20 of 31, 196 yards, 2 touchdowns. They both got sacked about this. They both had 4 sacks, 26, 27 yards, like right in the same area. Very, very similar experiences, but the rushing attack is where the biggest difference is, because the Jets rushed for 234 yards yesterday, and Denver only rushed for 139. And 50 of that was Russell Wilson on his legs.
Mm-hmm.
On the shots, man.
For all intents and purposes, he is playing better than he did last year.
Yeah.
I got to give Wilson his props on. You can't get any lower than what he was last year, and now he's up playing better than he was last year. So shout out to him. But
yeah, that's fair.
we got a new superstar. It looks like a running back with McLaughlin. We'll see what he does. Devontae Williams, he looked close to coming back to playing this game. So we'll see if they let McLaughlin stay on that role or not. Another game I want to talk about real quick, and this is a game that sort of kind of pissed me off. Pittsburgh beat the Baltimore Ravens yesterday, 17-10. Lamar, come on, man. You making all this money. You bet on yourself, making all this money. You got to get these wins, bro.
So
I know that defense. Go ahead.
In that game, is it a testament to the Steelers' defense, or is it just that Lamar played that bad? Because I thought the Steelers' defense were on point yesterday.
I thought it was good. Yeah, I thought it was the defense. I thought it was the defense.
Steelers' defense was on point yesterday, because I watched a decent chunk of that game. Steelers' defense was on point. But the number of times that Baltimore gave that game to the Steelers,
Yep.
the Steelers should have won that game by at least another touchdown. I'm sorry. And so that's a testament to the fact that the Steelers still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Because
I still
Baltimore
think they need to
struggled
fire
yesterday.
Matt Canada, though. So
Yeah, absolutely. I go ahead.
That Lamar Jackson contract talk, like, do you think that he's just pulling an AD at this point and going, "Oh, you guys didn't want to pay me, so like I'm probably not going to work that hard
ooh.
now that I'm sorry, like you guys didn't want to pay me, so fuck you." Like, I'm not.
I mean, here's the thing. I looking at his season numbers, he's playing like a middle of the road quarterback.
He ain't gonna go on the ground a whole ton. He's not going to be.
No.
He ain't taking shots.
And
I'll tell you that much.
I've said for a long time that Lamar Jackson is a middle of the road quarterback that people got too hyped on. I think this is just who Lamar Jackson is.
Unbelievable runner of the football as a quarterback. But like that can be a hindrance as well.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
if that opens up his passing game. And I'm sorry to say, I kind of agree with Dan at this point. That's kind of like you stretch my contract talk for this long. I'm not going to put the best effort out there. Oh, I got a wide open lane on 3rd and 5, but I know I'm going to get hit. I'll just throw it to he dropped it. Oh, man,
Keep in mind though, they were playing without 2 receivers, but still, you still got their flowers.
You know what? Now that Dan says it, how many passes did Lamar miss in the end zone? He had that shot in the corner of the end zone that was big. Should have put that on better. He had 2 drops in the end zone that I think could have been placed better. Dan may be onto something where Lamar's just kind of like,
I'm packing it in. I'm packing it in.
Man, I just.
He like D'Angelo Williams from back in the day. When D'Angelo Williams got all that money, all that money.
Up until yesterday, you could say the same point about Joe Burrow, where Joe Burrow, hey, I'm finally making money. I don't have to try anymore. He looked like absolute garbage until yesterday, but again, he was playing Arizona, and Jamar made him look real good.
And shout out to Jamar Chase.
Yep.
Killed it yesterday. Destroyed him.
Had
Good
people
to see you coming back, brother. Good to see you coming back. Another player I'm glad to see coming back is Dallas Goedert.
Yep.
It's good to see you coming back. You were doing nothing up until yesterday, and he just went in there.
Cooper Kupp played real well yesterday, too, in that game.
Mm-hmm. I think once the Eagles get their offense coordinators and defense coordinators straight, because they're both new. So once they get those coordinators in there, get a handle on what they're doing, get that routine down,
that team's only going to get richer.
They're only going to get better. And they're already deep.
Mm-hmm.
So
I cannot wait for that matchup to end November between San Francisco and Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a good game. Mm-hmm. My Saints get a win against the New England Patriots. I ain't going to talk about that too long because New England sucks.
Yep.
So that was a good win for them. But the only other game I do want to talk about is the Jags-Buffalo Bills game. Come on now. Really?
Fuck you, Josh Allen. That was great.
50 hours before that fucking game started. Oh, this is a clear case of the Jacksonville Jaguars have been there for 2 weeks because they're the Jacksonville Jaguars and send them to London because nobody gives a shit.
Oh, did you have to feel like that?
It's not like they're like, oh, we're on the opposite side of the road. This is weird. It was familiar. Like, that's fucking bullshit. That's a fluke. That's fluke. That's a fluke game. Josh Allen threw for 316 yards, didn't turn it over in the red zone. Like fucking goddamn. That's fluke loss. They're fine. It is what it is. It's Sunshine and Jacksonville. Like, Sunshine's a fucking good quarterback, man.
Listen, listen. We are not disrespecting Sunshine on this show. We are not disrespecting Sunshine on a cloudy day.
Mr. Sunshine, goddamn shoulder, John Denver.
We are not. We are not disrespecting Sunshine on this show. Travis Etienne had a hell of a game yesterday.
My only concern with the Jaguars is I hope that fumbling does not become an issue with Trevor Lawrence. Because both of his fumbles came on drives where the Jaguars should have put points on the board.
Yeah.
I just hope that that's not a thing that comes up.
And I need these wide receivers to stop dropping passes. I need that to stop from happening too.
I need Zay Jones to go out there. The league, though.
I know I need Zay Jones to be better. Doggone it. Damn good receiver.
Does Trevor Lawrence look like John Elway's son?
He does.
Please don't say that because I don't like John Elway, man.
Why you hating on John Elway?
Dude, it's the same reason I don't like Eli Manning because hey, I'm gonna make all of this money. But I don't want to play for the worst team that drafted me in my rights. So I'm gonna hold the jersey like this, hold it as far away from my body. I'm gonna have a pissed off look on my face. Oh, I got traded. Yay, let's go. Fuck, man, come on.
Is that a Bryce Young impression?
Nah.
Sure, yeah, Bryce. What?
Oh,
I
real-
yeah.
and
Oh.
real quick, Dan, do you think we spoke too soon on Justin Fields?
What do you mean? Is he gonna like take over the league? No. He won a Thursday night game. Let's fucking pump the brakes.
And he
Okay.
played Washington.
Don't do that to Justin, man. He need all the help he can get. He need all the confidence he can get, man.
Ron Rivera is not doing much with that Washington defense, and that's
No.
why I
That's
think
true.
Ron Rivera is going to be the next coach to get fired.
I also
Probably midseason. Yeah, if the Commanders go 2-5, 2-6 into their bye, he's gone.
I think I was sort of kind of shocked Sam Howell came out as flat as he did because I thought he would have got up for this game.
He's getting better, but Eric Bieniemy is working with his first young quarterback, so there's going to be
True.
some growing pains.
True.
I don't think anybody expected anything stellar out of Washington this year, but the play out of that defense is just god awful. Ron
Yeah.
Rivera is supposed to be a defensive-minded coach.
Well, what? Considering
they're-
that their front line has Chase Young, they have Deron Payne. Don't they have like a sweat guy on that line as well? They
Yeah.
should be putting pressure on Justin Fields, and he made that defense. Look varsity at best.
The DC, their DC will get fired soon. I'm surprised it hasn't already happened.
Mm-hmm.
And Ron Rivera, if things don't turn around on that team, Ron Rivera will not have a job by the end of the season.
I hate to be the guy that says this, but Eric Bieniemy's got to prove something to me. You
I
have
feel you.
Patrick Mahomes your whole career, and everyone thinks you're like the best. Maybe Patrick Mahomes made you good. Sorry, I mean you got.
That's a good point.
He's still got work to do in Washington. I'm not going to pretend that Eric Bieniemy is doing perfect. He's not, but he's certainly not doing a horrible job either. And so I think that there's positive things in that part of the camp. But the interesting thing is going to be if in the event that Ron Rivera does get fired before the end of the season, there's no way Eric Bieniemy is not the interim head coach of that team.
Right.
There is no way. There is no way.
And
so that puts it in even bigger distraction in his lap while he's trying to get Sam Howell right. But is this just a case of he's building Sam Howell up for this year because he knows he's going to be a head coach somewhere next year, if not Washington, and whoever's going to come in and take over as OC next year in Washington is going to be the one to truly pull everything out of Sam Howell that can. Bieniemy's just getting a foundation in place for him to be an NFL quarterback.
Hey, I don't mean to interrupt, but Will, I just sent you a picture to your Facebook chat. I think you'll get a kick out of that.
I think they should probably tank.
Hold on.
Yeah, you got to share it, dude. You got to share it.
Really? Tank for Caleb Williams?
Yeah,
I would.
Which team is tanking for Caleb?
I think all of them should.
I don't
Washington.
think Kansas City don't need to.
Well, you know what I
The
mean.
hell you say?
Kansas City don't need. Kansas City got Patrick Mahomes, man. You mean tell me
Man,
that you take Caleb Williams
look,
over
how many
Patrick
times have
Mahomes?
we seen? How many times have we seen?
Come
not
on
saying-
now.
I'm
Dude,
not saying.
bullshit.
I'm not
You
saying
are
right
out here.
now. I'm not saying right now, but at some point you're gonna have to prepare. Maybe some years down the line, because Patrick is young, but maybe some years down the line you have to prepare for him to retire.
That's not even close to what he was
I know,
saying.
but I'm saying it's years beyond, and
I
at some point you have to
gotta
look
say,
at it.
man, like if you can take a quarterback, Kansas City, like next year takes a quarterback in the 4th or 5th round and develops him into a solid backup. That when Patrick finally retires, it
You
goes.
can
I
just
would say
move
so.
right in.
But
In-
you don't waste the 1st or 2nd round pick on a
No,
quarterback.
you take a second or a third. You take a second or a third.
I would. Yeah,
So let me ask you a question.
I
So let me
still
ask you-
think 2nd is too early, man.
so let me ask you a question. It's Shedeur Sanders is right there in the third. You wouldn't pick him?
You don't need Shedeur Sanders.
If he's there in the third round, would you not take him?
No,
In the
not
third round.
at Kansas City. For Kansas City, hell no. But there's multiple teams that absolutely should be looking at Shedeur Sanders.
Pat Henne's
But no, I'm just thinking if you get a quarterback, let's say 4th or 5th round, you build him up to be a great backup quarterback. Patrick retires, you're straight.
Yeah,
With the way- I mean,
Kansas
with the
City's
way-
got a decade before they've got a.
Dude, yeah, I would
Yeah,
say
yeah.
10. I would say 10 or 12 years. So you probably don't need to draft a quarterback in the first. I would say 3 rounds in Kansas City.
Yeah,
For
8 years.
probably 6 or 7 years, if
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, because what Green Bay did it with Aaron Rodgers when Favre still had 3 years to play.
Mhm.
Packers did it with Jordan Love when Aaron Rodgers still had 3 years to play. I mean, if you want to go off that philosophy, I mean, you're looking at 8 or 9 years before Kansas City needs to draft a quarterback.
Yep.
At least a decade.
Yeah.
Let's be
But you
real.
also,
Now,
but God forbid-
I will say the teams that fall in that category where you have your franchise quarterback and you don't need to draft one,
Tim,
Jacksonville, Cincinnati, Baltimore, maybe.
Buffalo.
Buffalo, Philadelphia. At this point, San Francisco, you don't need to because Brock is pro. You want to know how I think Dallas in the next 3 or 4 years is going to draft a quarterback in the first or second round.
Shit, you gonna see that next year. You gonna see that next year.
I just do it. I think Dallas.
You gonna see that
Dallas
next year.
with Sanders having the connections in Dallas. If Shador is available in the third round and next
There you
year's
go.
draft,
He's gonna be
Jerry
right
will
there.
take him.
He's gonna be right there.
Shador's not going to be available in the third round.
You don't
Nah, I
think
don't
so?
think he will either.
No, Shador
Oh,
will be an early second round.
Maybe
at the
a late
latest.
first, early second. I
Because
don't
of the
think he
fact
will.
that he's Deion's son, his draft stock is going to be higher
he's
than.
way lower than he should.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
answer. Like he's like Anthony Richardson would have been the number one pick.
Yep.
Number one
He
pick.
just had, and I hope he gets better. He just got hurt this week, so hopefully he'll get better.
I'm really
Um,
going to be surprised how Gardner Minshew plays against that Jaguar defense, though.
That's gonna be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be interesting. But all right. But we already talked about Justin Fields. He ain't saving the world, so we're already talking about Justin Fields. So
He ain't saving the world.
he ain't saving the world. That's for sure. That's for sure. He played against 2 bad defenses and balled out. So let's see what he does later on down the line. Say what, Dan?
He ain't throwing that deep in route.
Nah. But shout out to DJ Moore for coming through and making himself relevant.
Moore
again.
looks hella good.
So shout out to him. That bad offense still coming out
Yeah.
looking good.
The next 2 games that Chicago has is versus Minnesota and versus Las Vegas.
That might be 2 wins. Well, maybe they'll probably go 1-1.
I don't know. The Raiders are playing the Packers pretty good right now, so that defense is kind of hit or miss. That Vikings team could be kind of sneaky though. I could see Minnesota upsetting Chicago if that's even an upset.
Kurt is playing well. I need TJ Hawkinson to start doing something. That's what I need to see. I don't think he's caught a touchdown yet this season.
No, but that's another one. Kansas City took him out of the game yesterday.
Yep.
Kansas City's game plan for the Vikings offense was to take TJ Hawkinson and Justin Jefferson out of the game and tighten up that running lane as much as possible. And that's exactly what they did. And that's why Kansas City won. Because Kansas City's defense did exactly what they were supposed to yesterday.
Defense playing really well right now.
That defense is severely underrated at this point.
They're
I know they
playing
say
really
that Chris Jones is amazing, but I mean, you don't have any real number one superstar in the secondary with that. I think between McDuffie, between Snead, between Watson, you're getting a lot of quality play out of those guys. And then the linebacking crew, even with Nick Bolton not playing, they're getting solidarity out of that group. When that team starts to gel, that's going to be a top 5 defense, considering what I think they said on Sunday Night Football last week. That's the 5th youngest defense right now that's playing, if not the youngest. It's a solid defensive unit, and it's carrying Kansas City to games this year.
Yeah, it's going to be. By the time it's done, it'll be a top 5. I think right now, you look at the 49ers, you're looking at the Eagles. I'm shocked people are sleeping on the Lions defense. That Lions defense has been playing pretty well.
That Lions defense I think is top 5 too.
Yes, they're playing very well right now. Pittsburgh's defense is playing well since that loss.
And I think the benefit of Detroit not finishing first place in the NFC North, so that they don't have to take on San Francisco and Philadelphia this year, that's going to help those boys out. So you'll get an easier road to the playoffs. Instead, you're going to take on Dallas, and I think Detroit matches up well against Dallas, and then you'll have second Seattle, and they already lost to Seattle. But I think Detroit just plays really well against everybody, man.
I think and Tony Pollard's going to go through a hellified time against that Lions run defense.
Yep.
Yep.
He's going through a hellified time. All right, let's go ahead and get to some MLB baseball. What's a 7th inning stretch? Let's go.
I want to be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain, I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints.
I'm laughing my ass off that the Dodgers just choking life away. I am laughing my ass off. Seven, break it down for us, please, sir.
So I'm going to get the stuff on the American League Division Series games out of the way first, because those are going to be a lot quicker, and then we're going to dive into the NLDS games, because there's a lot to unpack in both series, or in both of those series. So we're going to start with the ALDS first. 2 games in to the division round games, and Twins Astros, they have that series split. The Twins looked a lot better yesterday than they did in Game 1. They did really well against Framber Valdez. Really beat him up, and he's supposed to be Houston's ace. So I think that's a good sign for the offense of the Twins. Carlos Correa has hit his playoff mode, and he's doing it against his former team. So that's really funny to watch. And then on the other side, the Orioles-Rangers series, the Orioles were the second best team in baseball this year. A lot of young talent, and they are not performing right now. That week off might have put a little rest on them and thrown them off of their game, because now you've got the Rangers are 2 games up. It's a 5-game series. So the only way that the Orioles stay alive is if they win the next 3. So we're probably going to see the Rangers make it to the ALCS, something that they have not done in a very long time. And as of right now, I know the Astros and Twins have the series split. I'm still going to give it to the Astros, but if the Twins win the next game, I'm going to have to switch my pick back to the Twins, because the Astros are getting hit really hard. I don't think they're a very good comeback team.
So you're saying what we've been thinking the whole time about the Astros, they're front runners.
Yep. They got to be front runners. And I will say that they did a good job keeping doing what they had to do to come in and take the division. So I will give them that. Getting into the wild card slot, I'm sorry, they didn't win the division, they won the wild card. Getting in and actually having a wild card slot despite some of the struggles like they had this year. And they definitely kind of bungled it at the end because they could have won the division, but I still think it was a really good thing that they made the wild card this year with everything they dealt with as a team. But they're just not performing right now. And if they don't get some consistency, they're going to fail. There's no other way to put it. On the division side, this is where we are seeing a little bit more of an interesting thing going on. We'll talk Braves Phillies first. The Phillies won decisively in Game 1. Yep. There is no other way to put it. The Phillies were on their fucking game, and do
the Phillies sort of kind of have the Braves number?
I think they do, and I think this stems, obviously last year the Phillies took the Braves out of the playoffs, and so there's definitely some stuff there. The Phillies won 3-0 yesterday. Good consistent baseball. Today was a little bit of an interesting thing though, and the reason that I say that is because this could very well end up being the spark that the Braves needed to surge into World Series mode, because the Braves were down in their game today. The Braves were down, and they ended. I know they were down 3-0 at one point.
I was going to say they were down
4-0. They were down 4-0, and then they finally scored their first run in the 6th, and then they had a 2-run 7th and a 2-run 8th, thanks to a 2-run dinger by Austin Riley, and they closed, and then they held strong in the 9th with great pitching and closed it out. A come from behind win, that kind of energy, gaining that momentum right now, and it's a split series, so all they've got to do is win 2 of the next 3 games.
Yep.
I think if the Braves win this series, this is the turning point they needed to get back into gear, and the Braves are going to the World Series.
Yep.
I like the matchups in the NL more than I like the matchups in the AL. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Houston, so if Minnesota beats Houston, I'll be fine and dandy. But if you take a look at the matchups, it's division opponents taking on each other. So Philly and Atlanta, they played each other really hard this year, and then you can make the argument that the Diamondbacks played tough against LA. It's the LA series that's really surprising me, that the Diamondbacks, because they're up 4-1 right now in the top of the 6th. Yeah, top of the 6th. And they're up 4-1. And I don't want to say that this is typical Dodger baseball, but they look so great in the regular season that it's like it doesn't matter who has the best record in baseball. The Dodgers play like they are the best team until they get to the divisional round, and then it's like, oh, we've never been here before. What do we do? Like
No, and you're 100% correct. The Dodgers have a problem with choking. When we look at the game on Saturday, the Diamondbacks beat the Dodgers 11-2.
Mm-hmm.
Clayton Kershaw, who is
Gave up 6
Clayton
runs in the first
Kershaw,
inning.
6 runs in the first inning, only got 1 out. Merrill Kelly was pitching for the Diamondbacks on Saturday night, and this is the first time that Merrill Kelly has beat the Diamondbacks, or Merrill Kelly has beat the Dodgers. The Dodgers traditionally beat him up. Merrill Kelly was throwing fucking gems on Monday night. I loved watching him pitch. He was doing a great job. He was locating really well. He had a lot of velocity behind his pitches.
Yeah.
And then they got a solid 6+ innings out of him. Yeah. And then tonight you look at the Diamondbacks and they're just staying consistent. They're not holding back. The Dodgers are a team that they know well, and you have right now, just looking at where they're at in this game, Zach Gallen has only pitched, or is the only pitcher that the Diamondbacks have had. The Dodgers are on their 3rd pitcher. The Dodgers are going to have a hard time getting out of the series because the Diamondbacks are beating the shit out of their pitching. Yeah. If the Dodgers manage to make it out of the series, they're going to lose in the next round because the Diamondbacks beat the shit out of their pitching.
Yeah.
So either way, we're watching the end of the Diamondback season.
And that type of just longevity of, oh, God, I had a really bad outing in my last game. You make it to that next round. What's to say that it's like, oh, God, here I am, game 1. I'm going to get rocked again because I get rocked in the playoffs every year that I make it. Go ahead.
The situation the Dodgers are going to be in is if they don't come back in this game, they're going to be down 2-0 in the series, and you have to win the next 3 straight games. And with your pitching beat up, that's not going to happen. No. It's not going to happen. They have to find a way to come back tonight and get their offense going.
That's going to be
roster
tough.
That they have,
and
it is
down 4-1. I mean, it's possible. The Braves proved that they could do it, but
right.
Yeah,
and it's
that's true.
The thing for me is, and this is my criticism of the Dodgers, when you because offense is your problem. Your lineup consists of Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, Max Muncy, JD Martinez, Jason Hayward. And then you also got Peralta, Outman, and Rojas on the bottom 3. But you should be hitting consistently and north of 300 with that lineup.
That's what
as a team.
That's what I was about to say, because that team was built, or was supposed to be built around offense.
They should be an offensive powerhouse.
Yeah.
I will say about your Orioles playing the Rangers and them being possibly down to their game 2 is tomorrow night, right? Or did they just play game 2?
They just played game 2.
Okay.
The Orioles
so
are.
you were saying that the Orioles are down on the Rangers. Keep in mind that I'm looking at the Orioles schedule. They have not played the Rangers since May. They had a 3-game series against them to end May. They lost that series 2-1, including 12-2 loss to Texas. And then they played them again in their 2nd series of the season back on April 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So that Texas team has only gotten better. That already beat the Orioles when they played them. You only saw them. The Orioles only saw them 6 times this year. So this is a completely new Texas team that Baltimore is seeing. And Baltimore still is – Baltimore's a young team, right? Baltimore didn't make the playoffs last year. So a lot of these players on Baltimore, this is the first time that they are seeing playoff baseball, which I don't follow baseball a whole hell of a lot, but I can say that playoff baseball is different than regular season baseball.
Yes,
absolutely.
It's not like, oh, I've lost 6 games out of the 162 that I can play. I got time to make this up. For Baltimore, they're going to learn, hey, we're down 2-0. Now our backs are against the wall. I don't know if we'll see a different Baltimore team, but I bet we see a more aggressive Baltimore team. If they don't win, that's fine. But this is a team that's built for the future. This is a team that I think will only grow. Keep in mind they played, I think, in the toughest division in baseball, which is the AL East.
Absolutely.
And the experience that they've gotten this year, they're going to get beat by the Rangers. But the Rangers proved over the course of the final, we'll say 6-7 weeks, they had that bad stretch in August where the Mariners and the Astros caught up. The Rangers are just proving, hey, we got our bad luck out early. We're turning it around, and now it's our turn to play some baseball, which, again, I'm a Mariners fan, so I don't like the Astros or the Rangers, but good on them, man. If they win the series, they win the series.
Are the Rangers another Seattle?
I don't know. That's really hard to say. The Rangers have I mean, you have to have a talented squad to win 90 games.
Mm-hmm.
And that's and there's no other way to put it. But and when you look at their lineup, you've got Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, Garver, AJ Garcia. I mean, Jonah Heim is their catcher, and he is amazing. Nathaniel Lau, Jung, Tavares is on that. Like, it's a solid lineup. A lot of people don't take Texas seriously because it's the Rangers, and consistently, well, it's the fucking Rangers.
Yeah.
But they have built a solid roster this year, and I expected the Orioles to win the series because I felt like the Orioles, even though they were young, were a better ball club. But yes, the Rangers as an organization don't have a lot of recent playoff experience, but there are multiple players on that Rangers roster, including guys like Semien, Seager, and Garver, that have playoff experience. And that matters. You know, and like you said, October baseball is different. Those guys have been there. I don't think there might only be one or two players that are on the Orioles roster that have been to the postseason, and it wasn't with the Orioles.
Right.
So you gotta, I mean, that postseason experience matters, but I do think that if and when the Orioles fail this season, it's a springboard in the next season where they will be a more legitimate World Series contender.
All right, guys. One thing I do want to do before we get out of here tonight, this is what Ando said.
Oh, God.
This is what Ando said, man.
Gotta show him, man.
I've seen that before, and
Love
I love
it.
it. Love
Oh my gosh.
it. Oh, I love it.
Oh my gosh. That
So
was
I do want to let you know, Will, in case you are not following. Oakland, haha. Las Vegas just missed a 52-yard field goal. 2-minute warning. Raiders are up 17-13 on the
I saw that. Yeah. Real quick, I gotta put a sound effect to this.
No.
Dude, I cannot wait until I get my Rodecaster board, because I'm gonna put some fucking. We're gonna have some fucking sounds.
We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun. Hey, Ando, guess what?
What up?
You just made the list.
I will gladly be on that list, sir. Let's go. If it means I'm putting out funny memes and going to jail, screw it. Let's go.
That was hilarious. Thank you for finding that. I have not
Yeah,
seen
you're
that
welcome.
before. Oh my gosh, that was too funny. All right, let's go around the room real quick. See what I was gonna get into the NBA, but Dan has some technical issues. But preseason basketball is back. We did have some games this evening, and it looks to be there's one or two still left going on. The Lakers are playing right now to beat the Brooklyn Nets 110 or 102. Got a couple of finals. The
104.
Knicks,
Nets just scored.
okay. We look like we got the Knicks over the Boston Celtics 114 to 107. And it looks like the OKC Thunder defeats the San Antonio Spurs 122 to 121.
Those
So
are two teams that I'm really interested in seeing and how they perform, especially with the Thunder getting Holmgren back.
yeah.
But
Yep.
Wemby, whew.
I like Holmgren better though. Maybe I'm wrong for that. I don't know.
I think, dude, they're both two very fantastic players, man. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be fun to watch them play against each other, man.
I just like Holmgren a little bit better than Wemby.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
Well, and it's going to be an interesting thing to watch. That is one thing I want to watch. Is I want to see who's better out of those two.
Yeah.
Because I kind of, as much as I like the potential that Holmgren has, we haven't really seen enough out of him yet because of the injury.
True.
So we're really going to be seeing both of these guys fresh, and I'm really interested to see how that plays out.
Yep, me too. All
As
right,
long
let's
as the
go.
Bulls make the playoffs and win the championship,
Bulls
let's
ain't
go
no
Bulls.
playoffs. Bulls ain't winning nothing. We need a point guard. Until we get
Yeah.
a point guard, we ain't winning nothing.
Yeah.
And the thing that makes me mad, Ando, we could have had your boy back. We could have had we could have had Derrick Rose right back
Yeah.
with us.
Good.
And then they didn't even put
What
a
better way to
contract
go
off.
out? What better way to go out, man?
Yeah. They didn't even offer that man a contract when they got cut from the Knicks.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't
no,
offer
the
him a
Bulls have,
contract.
yeah, since Thibodeau's left, the Bulls have not reached out to Derrick Rose at all.
Mm-mm. Nope.
No. Everybody that they
Wow.
released from the last time that they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, Joakim they haven't offered back. Jimmy Butler isn't coming back. Taj Gibson, who I remember last playing for the Timberwolves, hasn't come back.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's just they kind of cut ties. And I think that was, besides the Jordan era, I think that was the best Bulls basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Them
fair.
losing 4-1 to the Heat in the 2011 Eastern Conference Finals hurt. And then the
Mhm.
following year, the lockout season that shortened, Rose tore his ACL, and it hasn't been the same since.
Man, I still blame Tom Thibodeau for that. You don't play you don't play your veterans that long.
No.
You
Or
gotta
you
give
keep
them
them on the
rest.
counter for the entire year so that they're ready for the playoffs. And Thibodeau was like, "Nah, guys, we need to play. We need to play. Good, we're the number one seed." And that's great. You're the number one seed, but if you don't have your best player on the floor, you're not a solid number one seed. And that those injuries ended up piling up for the Bulls.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened. Exactly what happened. Damn.
Yeah.
But I think they put in for an injury exception.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, okay.
Where it cuts back like $8 million on the salary cap. So if they want to try and reach out for somebody, they can. But I can't see anybody. I mean, at this point, go with Kobe White. He's your young point guard that you got. Develop him.
Yeah.
Have him work with Levine. Have him work with DeRozan. Have him work with Vujovic.
Yep.
And kind of see where it goes. The power forward position with Patrick Williams is kind of, besides point guard, obviously, is the other question mark.
Position. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, Vujovic is great in the post, but for guys like Milwaukee, for guys like LA, where you got Davis and Giannis, I mean, until you get size in the middle, man, they're going to get ripped apart inside. And then once they start worrying about the two on the inside, the point guards are going to tear them up.
Yep.
Man, I'm just interested to see.
Let me ask you this real quick. Are you a believer in Billy Donovan? Because I'm not.
Nope. I don't think they should have hired Billy Donovan.
No, me neither.
Nope.
Me neither.
Nope. I would have rather gone with Scott Brooks. I thought Scott Brooks was an amazing coach in OKC when he had Durant and Westbrook and Harden.
Yep.
I think when they hired him directly from Florida, I think going from college to pros just doesn't work out. Taking an executive off of Spurs, off of Heat, they have long-standing coaches. They know what they're doing. Go with one of those assistants.
Because he seems to be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
You see it in timeouts.
Mm-hmm.
That he's overwhelmed with the situation.
He's got like that "I'm lost, what am I doing" look on my face, and as a
Exactly.
coach, you cannot have that.
Can I have that?
No.
Can I have that?
Mm-mm.
All right, let's go around the room real quick.
You can't look like Brian Dable after he throws that tablet at Daniel Jones when he takes 11 stats.
Oh man. Real quick, for those who have not seen it, I gotta put it up here one more time.
Do it again.
I got to.
Hold on.
Got him.
Him.
Got him.
Scott Pillow. Interception by signature. For those
That is
who
awesome.
don't want to score.
That's right.
Patent pending.
Interception.
Yep.
Signature brand.
Over.
So when you
I think
don't.
I've been wearing that cologne my entire life.
Well, I got this game wrong. I went for Green Bay.
Oh, you got the game wrong?
Yeah, I went for Green Bay. I play pick 'em pool with the family, and I picked Green Bay over the Raiders.
Oh, okay.
That's a reasonable pick, though. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
anybody expected the
No.
Raiders to win
I
this
was
game.
going to pick Jacksonville, but I went Buffalo instead, and I
Mm.
got that one wrong too. I also picked Chicago to lose to Washington. So
All right, let's go around the room, see what everyone is doing real quick before we get on out of here. Ando, what you got coming up this week?
same thing, like I said on Saturday, trying to get the schedule going, but between work, being the new job, trying to focus on that more. But yeah, otherwise just kind of being special guest for the Geek Gauntlet podcast, available Saturday nights on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, Saturday nights. I'll go ahead and drop that in here.
Yes.
And then Sports Reports, which is where I'm here. So, yeah.
All right. Seven, what you got going on this week, buddy?
A whole lot of nothing. But I am going to be working on getting my voiceover stuff going. I know we've got a new sponsor coming. I want to get some stuff ready for that.
Oh, I missed that next week, by the way.
I'm excited for that. That's going to be really fun. And just, I don't know, working. I moved into where I'm in like a closet area, so all those people that said they thought I was in the closet.
Wait a minute,
right?
hold on. So you mean to tell me that not only can you be in the closet, you can also walk out the closet?
Yeah, I walk out. I come out of the closet multiple times a day.
Well, didn't they make a special cologne for something like that?
Yeah, they did.
Dak Prescott interception signature.
There you go. There it is right there. You go pick it up at your local Walmart for $20. There you go.
This podcast
Available
is
at
sponsored.
Walgreens.
This podcast
Wait,
is
what was that
sponsored by
Dodgers one you
Dak
just showed up?
Prescott.
What was that
Cologne.
Dodgers one?
INT signature.
No, well, you just had a Dodgers beer up. What was that?
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
No, you
My
got
fault.
now you got to show it, man. What's the Dodgers beer?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know why that was here.
Jeez,
I don't know why that was here.
because they.
I ain't drinking none of that.
taste
I
and
ain't
play
drinking none of
like
that. I'm not drinking any of that loser beer.
shit. I got a Coors Light in the fridge. I was thinking about
Where
bringing it.
Erica
It
at?
wasn't my beer.
Where Erica at? She the Los Angeles Dodgers spokesperson.
Dude, yeah, where's Erica been? We haven't had Erica on in a little
Yeah,
while.
we need Erica back. She need to stick up for her Dodgers.
Dude, what?
She's hiding because of her Dodgers. Is
You know
what
what? I
she's
gotta
doing.
say, well,
Man.
like the last 3 weeks, the
Well-
ladies have been disappearing from the podcast, man. We need to fix that. Like,
Yeah,
Kat
we're
and
gonna
Janae
fix
need to
that.
be on the Geek Gauntlet podcast.
Yeah,
Again,
we will do that.
available Saturday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern
Yes.
on Facebook, on
Yes.
Twitch, and YouTube, or wherever podcasts are
Yes. Change the
presented.
channel.
Now I'm going to go Jeff Goldblum here, and Erica. Now we we need you to show up next week, even if the Dodgers aren't in it. Okay, you gotta be here. Okay.
Yes.
I'm representing Kansas City. That's my team with the point. See the point right here? Yeah. And where was I going on my rambling here? Oh, yes. You need to be, Erica,
Yes.
in your seat
Get it.
for attendance on
You
a
call
Monday
it
night,
next week, damn it.
10 p.m. Eastern, again on YouTube, Twitch. And that one with the face, and you have all the books in the library. Library book. No, that's not the name of it. Sorry. That was my very bad Jeff Goldblum ranting on.
I'm taking roll next week, doggone it. Erica, you
Yeah,
need to be
gotta
there.
take roll, man.
Gotta take roll. Gotta
One
take
more
roll.
time. We gotta be sponsored too. Well, next week.
Yes,
Dak
next week. I'm
Prescott.
gonna unveil it. I'm gonna
We're
unveil
gonna be
it next
sponsored
week.
next week by Dak Prescott's interception signature.
This week's
cologne.
sponsor? This week's sponsor?
Dak Prescott cologne. For those nights you don't want to score. Available at your Walgreens corner market.
Damn, he said Walgreens. Damn.
Available at your local gas station.
Oh, oh, the pumping shop. You get it at the pumping shop.
We actually have gas stations here called Pump and Pack and Come and Go.
hey, you can get a 2-pack at Bucky's.
2-pack. There we go. Bucky's, because that's in Texas. Get
Yeah,
your
you
new
get
Dak
2-pack at
Prescott
Buc-ee's.
cologne. Interception and fumble signature.
Interception and
For nights
fumble
you don't want to
sensation.
score.
Interception and fumble sensation. Dak Prescott with a brand new cologne. Here on the Sports Report podcast. Go out and
If
enjoy.
he
Get a
shows
2-pack
up
at
next week
Buc-ee's.
and be like, I hate you all, I'm going to be like, dude, suck it. Don't turn over the football.
You can go and Bucky's get a 2-pack right now and be a
I'm
loser.
sorry. How much
Just-
money are you making, Dak, not to throw interceptions, and you're throwing interceptions? Shut up and do your job.
Exactly.
Really, right now he's getting paid to throw interceptions.
I'm
so,
sorry.
you know
I'm
what?
going to go what every online troll does when they lose in games. Dak, get good. G-U-D. Get good.
Brought to you
Rant
by
over.
his own cologne.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit off
well,
the wheels on this.
Oh
bitch.
man, that's just too funny. That's
Yeah.
just too funny. All right, you guys, we are out of here. Thank you for everybody being in the chat. We appreciate you. We will be back here again Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern time. Hopefully, we have a whole crew with us.
on what networks?
Oh,
Twitch, Facebook,
Facebook, YouTube.
and YouTube.
And YouTube. Yes. We'll be all there. So you guys join us too. We'll see you guys again next week. Everyone have a good week. Have a safe week and take care. How about them Cowboys?
Dak Prescott Cologne.
We're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night. Peace.